back to another episode of Cut the Crap. I'm your host Christian here with my main man Rex. How's it going today, Rex?
Yo, we doing good. A little shitty day at work, but we got through it. Sometimes it just go like that, People people be pissing your boy off, but it's what it is. You know what I mean? Like we make it to the end of the day and we're here. So that's really what matters the most to me. How about yourself?
Bro, it's a beautiful day. Today is my Friday. For
Oh,
my job, I won a trip to Cleveland. I will be in Cleveland, and I'm going to do a tour of my corporate building, which I've done before, but like this time we're getting like an escorted tour, so we get to learn about the building, possibly meet the CEO of my company, which is huge, and then we're going to the Cleveland Guardians game. We get to actually walk on the field and do all these cool stuff. They're gonna have somebody from my company. If you watch the game, you'll know what company it is because they'll announce it then. Go ahead and sing the national anthem. We don't know who's selected yet, but somebody's selected. No, I
my
tried.
boy.
I tried.
Damn.
I tried.
Damn.
I know it's
How
not
did it
me, bro.
stick?
My shit sounded bad. I was laughing at it before I submitted. Like, do I really want to
Oh,
submit
you
it?
gotta. Oh, yeah, you gotta record it. Yeah.
Yep. And then they're gonna have somebody throw out the first pitch, which I did sign up for that because your boy could throw.
Mhm.
I was like, yo, all day I could throw a strike. So it's funny. The
Bro,
joke
if
is,
I see a sissy ass throw come from you
bro, never.
on US
I'm throwing I'm throwing a
national
70
television,
mile an hour fastball right down the middle. Maybe 80 if I'm
no,
feeling freaky enough.
yeah, I,
I'm
I thought
gunning it in there.
you were gonna put a double nine on that.
No, I can't do double nine. No. I'm not gonna even. I could get to the 80s. I know I could get to 80 still.
Honestly, that's very fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know in high school I used to throw.
jokes aside, yeah.
In high school I used to throw 84, 85 on the radar gun, because
Yeah.
we did a competition one time.
Mhm.
So I feel like I could get it, especially now with me going back to the gym and working out again.
Yeah.
I feel like I got my arm strength back up. And then also playing softball, like the softball is a lot
Mhm.
heavier and harder to
Yeah.
throw. I feel like I can still get 80s. I got high 70s, low 80s. But either way, there's my friends have a running joke if I do get selected, they got to bet if I'm gonna throw a strike the first pitch or I'm gonna 50 cent it and hit the mascot. So
I swear, if it's not a beam, a laser down the middle.
well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I'm throwing it. I first got to see if I'm even
Yeah.
making it because
Mhm.
Florida is about to get hit with a fucking hurricane. Not where I'm at. It's already curved out west. It's gonna hit more like Tallahassee and all that. But we're gonna get the outer
Yeah.
bands, which the outer
Mhm.
bands are still bad because it's gonna be a state. It's a hurricane level 3, so
Mm.
it's still gonna be like the outer bands and everything like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, our weather's been rainy up here for the past 2 days, so I have a feeling normally, honestly, I don't know, I think we talked about this before, but if I have sorta outside of, like, I guess, heat,
mhm,
you know what I mean, obviously, because of the distance, but we're kinda aligned where, um, like, when you guys were having those hurricanes pass through, like, a couple days later, we were getting the rain of it.
mhm.
So, it's like we've been getting rain as well, and I know exactly. Once you said that, I'm like, yeah, I now know where that's
Yeah.
from.
So we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed, my flight does take off, and I'm able to get to Cleveland. Nicely on time and no issues. So,
Mhm.
but anyways, let's hop on to today's episode. This is actually brought to us by gentleman Rex right here. It's a really good topic. I don't know anything about this, so this is gonna be very interesting. The question is the red pill community dying? So I'm gonna just start off. I googled it. It says the red pill community is a group of men who believe that society is controlled by feminism and is biased against men. So my thinking is saying that women rule the world. Is that what it's really saying, or
Okay, so now we finally can get into it.
yeah,
So the red pill community. Now I need to first state because I know people be tripping. I am not part of this community. I am so far on the other side. I think it's hilarious. I think with everything, it always starts off in a pure state, but after a while, things get perversed. So, to help our listeners, our viewers, and our watchers out there who may not know, along with kind of with the knowledge that you may have,
Mhm.
I'm gonna start letting it out, and then we go from there.
Okay.
So, Andrew Tate, do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know Andrew Tate.
That is Red Pill Community.
Huh? How?
Him, Fresh and Fit, that Donovan loser guy, and then there's a few others. So Kevin Samuels, he's kind of a fence sitter, depending on how you wanna look at it. But essentially, how you say how with Andrew Tate is if you look at how Andrew Tate got his his shock factor before he started doing all that rate, like it's always funny because that's kind of the scale or spectrum, if you will, for red pills is that they start off with these very extreme, like high value man. I'm sure you've heard that before. High
Mhm.
value man. You don't, um, yeah, they like again just in the society that they say that women want a high value man. They try to present these ways of how to become high value men themselves, along with bashing women along the way. So they kind of and it's a 50-50. So basically what they'll do, like Fresh and Fit will do this, other certain podcasts, and then basically kind of what Andrew Tate's been up to and the police have been investigating him about is that they get susceptible women and they kind of quote unquote either brainwash them, or if certain independent women who grown up in a non-traditional woman sense, if you will. They then will have them on their show who say they're either independent or if they have like an OnlyFans, they basically put down like any kind of like sex work, and then they say like that you should be like a more traditional woman, right? Like you don't need to work, stay at the house, all that kind of stuff. So for a while, Andrew Tate's been on that kind of run. He also, I don't know if he's still doing it now, but a lot of these guys like him and Fresh and Fit and all those guys, they like to produce self-help books or paywall for their community to help pay to get tips on basically how to pick up women. Now,
So wait, I have a
before,
question before we continue
go for it.
because I've
Yeah.
heard Fresh and Fit before. I've heard
Yeah.
I've
And stop
listened.
me anytime by all
Yeah,
means.
I never
Yeah.
listened to their podcast. I've always
Yeah.
listened to like the shorts on TikTok. That's how I know of
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
But at least the times I've seen them, I don't feel like they ever like bringing women down. They're telling women, or at least in my eyes, how I saw it was they were telling women how to be more of a traditional woman, like you had said. Like, look,
Hmm.
guy don't want women out there doing, OnlyFans. Like, no, that's not what you want. Guy doesn't want a woman that's out in the clubs 24/7 and out partying. Like, no, you know. There was a
Hmm.
girl that got famous off TikTok, a Mexican chick. I don't know if you saw it there, where she was like, he asked a question about um being married to someone. I can't remember the question, dude. And she was like,
Hmm.
bring back the anarchy, bring back where I get to stay home. If I'm taken care of and all that, I wouldn't dress the way I dress. All social medias would be off. Like, I'm here to cater to you. And that's how I always took Fresh and Fit, saying it as like just trying to teach a woman how to. So you're saying they're not doing that?
Boy, oh boy, do I have actually over a million clips to show you otherwise. So, yes, they have certain moments where they explain that. But now, hear me out.
Okay.
You run a podcast and you bring on 8 women
Mhm.
who you have to profile and you have to, do your research, right?
Yeah.
They don't bring on 8 traditional or 8 women who believe in a traditional lifestyle. They bring on 8 OnlyFans, and like I guess sex workers, right?
Okay.
And those kind of people. And then they bring them on who's already either like established or, well into a quote unquote career.
Hmm.
And then they go back and forth with them, and then if they don't like what they say, or if they actually do have like real points, they then, as they say, dunk on them, start calling them bitches and hoes, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm sure we've all heard the famous line, like turning a hoe into a housewife and seeing how that goes, right?
Yeah.
So luckily I've been blessed through the algorithm to know certain things, so you don't have to go through the knowledge of watching certain videos. So our friend, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know why I call him a friend, but I think his name, I think it's Fit. It's Fresh and Fit. Fit ended up dating one of those OnlyFans girls, getting them pregnant, and then trying to hide the fact. Now, what you were saying before earlier, right, is you're right. Men don't want women who are always up in the club. Um, and sure, some men I will, because I know others out there who don't care, right? If they have an OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff. Now, women don't want the same thing. Women don't want a man that's always up in the club or showing their junk online for
Of
money,
course.
right? However, given life circumstances and certain opportunities and certain and freedoms that we have, those paths are very more um enticing, right? And I'm a firm believer. I think I want to say World War One is when women in the workforce really came up. When men went to war, women had to step up.
Mhm.
And it's always kind of been that. And then in society, a lot of days, if you don't have a really good two-parent home system, right? You see either your mom's working, or if there's not enough income in the house, you got to go out there and work, right? And go do what you have to do. And people can't knock you if you choose to do uh OnlyFans or any of that kind of stuff, right? And my whole thing is with those guys is that they are like, cherry picking. They're picking people that aren't the ones. Because if they go ahead and go get you like, an Amish or like a woman who really, really, truly values the traditional woman, quote unquote, lifestyle, then they wouldn't, right? They make their views off of calling, these women degrading names, and then the guys then chip in, and it's the same people that they're very much trying to teach that like that's okay,
Yeah,
right?
because
Same
it's
thing with like
clickbaity though.
same
That's
thing
what they're doing. They're trying to
for
get
sure,
views.
but people are susceptible, right? That's the whole thing with like the Andrew Tate scare right in the beginning, is that he just came off as this brash guy. Oh, um, you need to have a Bugatti before you talk to a woman. You need to do all these kind of things, right? If you want to, got to be a high value man, all this kind of stuff. And I was saying earlier with Kevin Samuels is kind of fence sitting, because he kind of gave heat to both ends, but the clips that surface are the ones where like, you know, um some woman wanted a 6'4" man, 225, had a good job, all that. But when he asked her like her details, she was like 5'2", 250, and like she wasn't working. And then he called her like a running back, for lack of better words, right? And so, that caught flack because of the message how he delivered his message. But essentially the whole point of the idea is that like it's the whole, what do you bring to the table, right? Because no one really tries to go out of their league when they're in the dating scene. People try to tend to find something that's compatible, and a lot of people that end up finding things that are not compatible are in places, you find them in places where normally non-compatible things happen, such as the club. So again, why I bring it all up is because these guys are on the way out, right? Like
Are
Andrew
they though?
Tate is Andrew Tate is still currently being investigated for his webcam girls that he had. That one leaked text or video of him play fighting with one of his girlfriends, and then his girlfriend having to come online and then say like they were play fighting. But again, if you read between the lines, you know it's BS, right?
Mhm.
And why was he hiding in like Romania or other places if he can't, go around? And he's saying like he's frees all this and people are part of the matrix when it's like, you're teaching people how to pimp, right? You look at text messages, you look at all the things that he says. He likes younger age women. He likes to try to groom them from a certain age, right? And that makes them that the reality is them and that all they know, right? And that's the predator long game that those guys are into. And that's kind of where it's going. Fresh and Fit, they've been demonetized off of YouTube because YouTube is tired of them and the things that they are saying. This is brings back to another point why I say, when you start making money in certain spaces, right? Freedom of speech is how free is freedom, right? Where sure you think that you saying these things is valuable enough for you to be demonetized because their fan base is a bunch of young people who are probably either in school or don't have the financial means to do so to support them, right? And so they were getting their money off of ads like most high-end content creators. Now that's done. Now they're on Rumble. Now if you go on X, you see like Myron just ridiculing whoever, and that's kind of where they've gone now, right? They've gone to racist shock factor. Myron from Fresh and Fit was caught hanging around. No, well, I wouldn't say caught, but he was talking with the group of white supremacists saying that they want to take over America again. And this was on X in those like speaker chats, like
Yeah.
those the things. And they said like to him, like, what do you think's gonna happen when we take over? You think you're just gonna stay? Like even the same people and values that he believes in even want to see him out the door.
Yeah.
Right. And so again, these guys, they're all dying because they're giving piss poor advice. And again, they themselves are not even living towards the same advice that they're doing, right? Like again, like I said, one of the hosts got some girl on the show pregnant and try to hide it when
Yeah.
their whole basis is not to do those things so that you don't get, I guess, caught up with, having a baby with someone that you truly don't love.
Yeah.
And now
Wait
look
for
at one of the
marriage and all
hosts,
that. Mm.
right? Yeah. So it's like these people are trying to teach you. It's like us, giving all this advice and then going back on it, right? And that's kind of what these guys are doing. But why again I say again that they're dying is because of this. But Red Pill did start from somewhere else, and it used to be called like the pickup guys or the pickup gurus, right? Where guys online. I don't know if anybody used to see those ads, even the ads like on YouTube, right, where it teach you how to talk to women, how to do all these things, right? And that's kind of where it started from. And I was looking up earlier before we started is if anybody has ever heard of Simple Pickup. That used to be a YouTube channel years ago that used to go out into the streets and kind of show guys like how to talk to women and kind of stuff like that. Now, they were never as extreme, I would say, as from the videos I remember, as the people that I'm talking about now. But again, that's kind of where it started from. And then the gentleman Kong Fam, that was one of the guys I was looking up. You hear some juicy stuff going on with whatever nonsense that they had going on. Back in the day, there's actually a video 4 years ago, a simple dark twist, a story with a dark twist. What happened to Simple Pickup? So again, these pickup industries and agents, they burn hot and they burn the fuck out. And another, I think we talked about this before, or I think I know this comedian, like Patrice O'Neill.
Say it one more time. Who?
Patrice O'Neill, the comedian.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. What about him?
He used to be on a show with Opie and Anthony. I think it was on XM radio, whichever Sirius radio.
Mm.
And he used to come on and have his little segments, and he used to talk about, right, how to get with women and how to do all these kind of things, and that even was earlier than them,
Yeah,
right?
he's
And it's
old. I mean,
always kind of, yeah, and that's always been a thing. And now there's a guy, I don't know if he still does it, Dante Nero. He kind of was inspired. He used to come on the same shows as Patrice O'Neill before he passed, and then he kind of started doing it, right? But the thing is that, and this is like advice for everyone, right? Like, if you are going to listen to these people, you need at least 3 grains of salt that you need to take it with, because their personal experience and your personality may not match. Because if you guys know who Patrice O'Neill is, and the certain times that he grew up and came around, um, they would call women, for lack of a better word, bitches, right?
yeah,
And so just how they talked or whatever. And I guess, at the time and the climate, sure, if it passed, it flew, whatever. I obviously know now that's not the case, right? And so you gotta, again, same thing with these newer guys, right? They're saying, not to get with these like OnlyFans girls and sex workers. But it's like, no shit, Sherlock, right? Like, I can give you like 1,000 stories of people like falling in love with the wrong people because they're looking for love in the wrong
the wrong
places.
places.
And
Yeah,
as we talked about before, it's just clickbait. You know what I mean? But this clickbait is going to ruin a generation, right? Like, the clickbait, for lack of better words, right, is they're targeted to your kids and your kids' age group, right? And that's what they see on their phone behind your back. And know you, right? And I know, you know, you got your family and very respectable. So what does that look like where they're getting that kind of knowledge and disrespecting your last name? You know what I mean? Going out there and talking to people like that, right? Or, you don't want, and I'm sure this is for everyone. You don't want your daughter to be talked to by some guy that was trained by an Andrew Tate or a Fresh and Fit, or someone that says like, the high value
they
man,
wouldn't. They
and
would
to
go missing.
disrespect women.
They would go missing.
You
It
know,
wouldn't even
you
matter.
know, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't even have time to put them on a t-shirt. But I digress, right? The thing is that, like, what you do need to take is, yes, strive for being a high value man. Yes, strive for making as much money as you can, right? And using your resources. And again, some of them, they do teach things like networking and how to, business mogul, but that's not their bread and butter. Their bread and butter and their higher statue, right? Again, is to, and what the younger audience gravitates to, is them yelling at women about their life choices, like they're their parents, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And they go on and try to convince all these people, and that's not the case, right? Sometimes, and I got a coworker, it's just like, you got to get with the times, right? Like, you may not like this, but you will have to adapt. And it's
Facts.
just what it is, right? Like, again, there's a lot of bad misinformation out there, but they do come from good roots, you know what I mean? And that's kind of why I try to inspire and tell other people, right? Like, take the good stuff from it, because some of the things, like when they start off, absolutely, who wouldn't want to, have a Bugatti and have all these places and do all these kind of things, right? But again, they're not explaining how they got it off the backs of, manipulating women, right? That's the part where they hide out. They just show up, ball head, Lamborghini, Bugatti, living in Miami, have all these women around, right? And say, oh, like, I'm the best. But, like, they come from, right, perverted roots, right? Where we know that you can work hard and do what you need to do to build yourself up there, right? Um, so, again, like I said, it's just focusing on taking the good stuff, because I feel that we all definitely know, um, when people are like bullshitting or saying like a bunch of nonsense. Again, we just don't want the generation who is growing up to be susceptible and to take in that information, because now you got to unlearn that, and sometimes it's easy to learn bad things, and it's hard to
Unlearn it.
teach like better stuff, right? Hold on, my headset just died live. So
That's too funny, and it's crazy. I've seen these people, like I said, I've seen them all the time, and there's mix between the two, right? They have a lot of good and bad. I've only seen like the clips and all that, and some of the clips, yes, they are cursing out women, like, oh, that's you're acting like a hoe though, this and that. I remember one there was really one famous one that still kind of goes viral about him shaming a woman that has kids, and he
Mhm.
was like pretty much saying, "Oh, do you think a guy's gonna want to date somebody with kids and want to deal with that baggage? Somebody that's rich and has money? You think that's what they want? Somebody with kids, or are they gonna want somebody that doesn't have kids to have his kids?" And like she just started breaking down, crying on the episode. It's like, damn,
Mhm.
dude, like you. Not everybody thinks like that. And for the
Exactly.
ladies that are listening, perfect example. I don't know what it was, but after high school, every girl I dated had a child. My wife,
Mhm.
before I met her, had a child, my daughter, and there's nothing wrong with that. You will find men that want to step up and be in that role.
Exactly. See, they try to like paint a terrible narrative, like a very humanistic like narrative.
Now
Like
there is
I
there
understand.
is people like that
No,
though. Small
don't get and
percentage, but
for
or
sure,
maybe
for sure,
even
for
more
sure.
than a small percent. I don't even know.
But people like to forget my favorite word, context. Right? If you are in a situation where you meet someone and they show you the world and they're honest with you and they tell you, yeah, I got a kid, whatever this is the situation. Most times, like you said, if that's not for you, cool, sure, see you later. But most people who like have to me to have a real heart, like understand the situation and can either adapt or they say, you know what, it's not for me, and they're respectful about it. And that's fine.
Yeah,
You move forward, right? But the whole thing again is like I said, is context. They're not talking about the serious talks or how some people are afraid because they don't want their child to be exposed to that
yeah,
and then they don't talk about how the man who has that extra nurture and loving to and has the capacity to do so, why don't we talk about those? And that's what I'm saying, like, again,
hmm
I hope in the new stages of whatever, because it probably won't be called red pill, it'll probably be called something else, that there's more ears than there are mouths. That's what
yeah.
I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for more people to just listen and understand that, like, dude, we're
Shoot.
in a different time now.
Maybe
You know
we
what I
need to
mean? Like,
start. Maybe we need to start the next movement. Maybe we
I
need to
mean,
get
I
into that
honestly,
movement.
I honestly, I honestly think we low key kind of have been, because
We could be called the
when I
green
first
pill.
started, don't kill me.
The green pill boys.
I would say purple because when you mix blue and red together,
All right, blue and red together. Purple. There we go. We're the Hey,
right?
ladies, we're the purple pill. We'll tell you how it really is out there. We got
You
you.
know, and we listen. But I think but to be completely honest, when I first joined and started in the podcast game, and it started coming on frequent with you.
Mm.
Um, I'll be honest, I truly didn't know what kind of where we landed in like a podcast setting.
Yeah, it's
Like
hard to
I
know.
like
Like they
yeah,
ask, what category are we? I'm like,
yeah.
well, we're a little bit of this, we're a little bit of that. They don't
A
have a
little
little
bit of
bit of
yeah.
everything. Like
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes we dabble into sports, sometimes we
yeah,
talk about gaming, internet, tech,
cars.
everything, right? Cars, all that, right? Sometimes we just blabber on about nonsense. And that's and that's fine. Sometimes I feel that we don't need to be stuck in a category. That's what I love, because when I talk to my friends, I tell them, yo, one time, a viewer, a listener, gave us that Casey Anthony
Oh yeah, that was a dope one.
documentary.
They asked
That
us to
was so
watch it. We
awesome.
watched it. We
Right,
learned.
yeah.
It was like, yo, I like
I
that.
never knew
Shout
that
out to
side,
that
and
viewer. I
and and
forgot
to
who
hear
sent me
all that.
that.
Yeah, yeah, shout outs to them, right? Like, that was awesome, you know what I mean? And then we switched it up, and like we said, we talked about football and cars last week, and we're just everywhere. But again, the people that specialize in it, and again, where I was going with is that, like, I didn't know. I just knew that I just kind of always wanted to be insightful and funny, and sometimes I always wanted to be more funny than insightful. And then I think now, just as time gone on, I think I found a good balance. with being able to deliver both, right? Not trying to overshadow, right? My host and co-host, and just find the right balance. But I think honestly, we are that because we give advice to everybody. We give like real, or
we cut the crap, right? We give that real good advice.
Exactly. We tell our own personal opinions and ideologies. We go back and forth, and then we kind of like give what I think is like constructive advice or something that like, hey, if you're ever in this situation, try steps A through B, and do it this way, because we had something similar like that, and go ahead, try it this way. So
yeah.
Who knows,
listen,
right?
to answer your question before we exit out, I'm gonna go with yes. I think red pill is dying then, because after you just explained it, and while you were explaining it, I'm not gonna lie, I pulled it up real quick on TikTok. They haven't made a post since March of this year.
They're dead in the water.
They are like done. So that's what I agree with you. That's what I see. For you listeners out there, let us know what you think. Now that you know a little something, do you think red pill is dead? And would you like us to dabble into it a little bit, get more into like giving relationship advice, or telling?
Are you secretly a red pillar and need to change and understand it? No, not you. Sorry.
Not you.
Are you? Yeah.
The one watching you.
Yeah.
Right there,
are you or listening?
Look at me.
Écoutez, listening. Or here. Listen.
You see me? Watching. You right?
Listen, we gonna get you right. This way.
Right.
We gonna get you right.
Anyway, shoot us a message down below. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear back from you guys. If not, shoot us a message on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Discord, or by email at cutthecrap2ps1@gmail.com. So that's CUTTHECRAPP1@gmail.com. We do appreciate you guys for listening. Like always, till next week, you guys have a good one. Peace.